Howdy Rose, it's Monday, February 17th. That's not how I talk. So last week I made a video about how 64 complete strangers from 150 years ago all made the perfect life decisions to allow you to sit here and watch this video right now. If you haven't seen that video from last week, you can click up here to watch it first. Well, you guys found that video as fascinating as I find the concept behind it, so I decided to go a little bit more in depth on the same topic in today's video. In the last video we left off with your great-great-great-great-grandparents, or for simpler reference we'll call them 6 generations ago. That was about 150 years ago and there was 64 of them. Now if you continue this back through time, you can see just how quickly this explodes. Like 7 generations ago you had 128 relatives. Then 8 generations ago you had 256, then 512, then 1024, then 2048, then 4096. Whew, math. That's a lot of people. That was 12 generations ago, or about 300 years, and you had 4096 ancestors wandering around. Now this is why it's pretty common to hear someone say, I'm a descendant of the so-and-so royalty from the whatever times, because if you look back far enough, the likelihood that you were descended from a notable person is actually pretty high. You also descended from peasants and thieves and prostitutes and murderers and crazy people. So yeah, there's that. If we keep going back in this manner, however, we quickly run into a problem. One that has actually confused many people on Earth for a long time, even though the answer is quite simple. If we go back 33 generations, we are at about 850 years ago, or the middle of the 12th century. Following our formula, that would put the number of descendants at about 8.5 billion people. That is more than the population on the planet right now. And back then the world population was only about 300 million, less than the population of the United States today. So how is this possible? This mathematical conundrum has caused humans quite some trouble, and is actually one of the reasons why many different myths and religions place their creation story or the beginning of Earth within the last few thousand years. The answer to this problem, however, is quite simple, and it's called pedigree collapse. You see, so far in our formula, we have assumed that the descendants of our ancestors will never meet and have kids of their own, and this just isn't the case. Imagine that you had a child with your cousin. Not that you should, but if you did, your child would have 2 parents, you and your cousin. And they would have 4 grandparents, your parents and your aunt and your uncle. However, they would only have 6 great-grandparents instead of 8, since you and your cousin share a pair of grandparents. Throughout history, with most humans living in small groups and villages, it was pretty common for people to end up romantically with a 2nd or 3rd cousin, or even a 1st cousin, as there weren't that many options available. In fact, it is estimated that 80% of all relationships that have ever happened between humans were between 2nd cousins or closer. This is why we see a crossing between our original formula and the world population. In fact, if everyone on the Earth 850 years ago had 8.5 billion unrelated descendants, the current world population would be 2.4 quadrillion people. That's enough to put 8,000 people in each solar system of the entire Milky Way galaxy. Man, the galaxy is huge. But we'll save that for a different video. Rose, we'll see you on Wednesday.